Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Alfauzi Rahmadani. I'm from class A. Today I wanna present my work is Sosiolinguistik analysis of English code switching in YouTube podcast. Okay, the first is background. This research focuses on the phenomenon of code switching and bilingual communication that is growing in the digital world, especially on platforms like podcasts. Code switching refers to switching from one language to another language in the middle of conversation or sentence. This phenomenon is very relevant in Indonesian, where English is mixed with Indonesian in daily life, especially by young people who consume digital content, including podcasts. The podcast that Corbusier with Cinta Laura is chosen as an object of this research because both often use code switching in their conversation. Deddy Corbusier is a host, and Cinta Laura is a guest who is used to speaking two languages, Indonesian and English, in daily life. Also, this podcast has a wide audience made up of people from different language backgrounds. So, code switching can be seen as flexible way to communicate with a multilingual audience. So, this analysis, these researchers want to explore the patterns of code switching in this conversation and understand how social and cultural elements affect the use of code of language in the podcast. This research also aims to enrich sociolinguistic studies, especially related code switching in digital media, and to show the role of language in shaping social identity. Okay, and the next is methodology. This research uses a descriptive, qualitative approach with focus on analyzing data from transcript or conversation in Deddy Corbusier podcast with Cinta Laura. In this case, the descriptive qualitative method is used to describe the types of code switching that happen to categorical their function is communication. Okay, these steps in number one is data collection. The data is used in the study taken from transcript of podcast episode featuring Deddy Corbusier and Cinta Laura. These transcripts, including conversation lasting several minutes, chosen because they have a fixed high frequency of code switching. And then data analysis, the collected data is then analyzing use qualitative analysis technique which is identifying the different types of code switching used by both speakers. The research analyzes the three main categories of code switching, and then is data analysis is intrasensorial switching, intersensorial switching, and text switching. Intersensorial switching, code switching that occurs within a single sentence, where the speaker inserts element of second language in the middle of sentence in the first language in Indonesian. Intersensorial switching, code switching that happens between two different sentences. The speaker switches from one language to another after finishing the first sentence and starting the second sentence in a different language. And then text switching, inserting small elements is like injuries or short phrases from another language into the conversation without changing the main sentence structure. And then number three is the research analyzes the frequency of each types of code switching and looks for pattern in the usage and function of these switches in the conversation. And then number four is categorical interpretation. After analyzing the types of code switching, the research interprets the finding to understand their function is conversation. Some of the function is code switching that analysis include adjusting to the audience, like social and cultural identity and influences of media and trends. Okay, the next is research findings. Research show that code switching is very common phenomenon in the podcast conversation. From 79 cases of code switching found in this transcript, the research identified that most of code switching was intrasensorial switching, which made up 49.36% of the total cases. This means that more than half of code switching in case happen in the form of inserting English elements into Indonesian sentence being spoken. And details of the types of code switching found is intrasensorial switching is 49.36%, code switching within a single sentence so that speakers often feel comfortable switching language directly within one sentence, which might be done to make it easier to express an idea or necessary of both language. And then intersensor switching is 35.44%. Code switching between sentences happens more formal conversation, where the division between Indonesian and English sentence is clear. Speakers seems to use English to emphasize certain points or to adjust to an audience that is more fluent in English. And the last is text switching is 15.19 code switching involving small elements like interjection or short expression is often done without changing the structure of the sentence. This typically used and colored to the conversation that express certain emotion. And the next is function of code switching fun. Adjusting to audience, the use of English is often used to adjust to conversation for an audience that more used to are comfortable with English, especially in a podcast with a younger audience that's more is exposed in international media. And then a social identity, the use two language reflect that social identity of the speaker, who may be seen as more modern or global for knowing English, a language often linked with success and social status. And then communication flexibility, code switching is also used as a way to communicate more efficiently, where on language is used for certain concepts or ideas that are easier to express in the language. And then the last its conclusion. From the result of this research, it can be concluded that code switching is very important strategy in bilingual communication. Used in a Daddy Kabazar podcast. The use of code switching shows that language is not only used to convey information but also to create social and cultural identity. Code switching in the podcast reflects the speaker's flexibility in adapting to multilingual and deserve audience to and show the influence of globalization and the use of international media like YouTube and affecting communication styles. This phenomenon also show how the younger generation in Indonesia, who are increasingly exposed to international media, use the language as a tool to express themselves in a freer and more multilingual way. Therefore, podcasts and form of digital media provide space for speakers to express their multilingual identity through code switching, with not just a communication tool but also a reflection or broader cultural and social influences. This research adds to our understanding of code switching as an important sociolinguistic phenomenon in the context of digital media and intercultural communication. It's the last. Thank you. My name is Alfauzi. I want to say thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.